Have you ever felt bored reading history books filled with names and dates that don't seem to matter? What if those same pages could actually help you change your life, learn English faster, and even see your own struggles differently? Imagine standing in a quiet rice field in ancient Vietnam. The morning mist is heavy, the land stretches endlessly, and a farmer bends low, planting seeds while listening for distant drums that warn of approaching armies. This was daily life centuries ago. Ordinary families woke up with one goal: survive. They cooked simple meals, cared for children, and worked the land, even as powerful kingdoms far away decided their future without asking. Yet hidden in these villages was something stronger than fear. People who seemed small learned to fight, to protect their homes, and to hold on to hope even when the world told them they could never win. That strength is their legacy. And here's why this matters to you: learning English can feel just like their fight. At first, the language feels too big, too complicated, like an empire you cannot defeat. You might even hear a voice that says, "Why bother? You'll fail." But Vietnam's story proves small steps matter. Tiny villages stood up to massive forces. Just like they found clever ways to survive, you can find smarter ways to learn English, without feeling lost, tired, or overwhelmed. Over the next parts, I'll show you how to use real stories to make English unforgettable. You'll learn words through emotions, not lists. You'll link phrases to images. You'll grow faster because you'll actually care about the story. Here are 3 simple tips you'll discover soon. Connect each English word to a feeling or picture, it sticks longer. Read out loud while imagining the scene, it trains your memory. Learn history as if you're watching a movie, not reading a textbook. This isn't just about the past. It's about courage, hope, and change. And those lessons can make your English stronger too. The same fire that helped Vietnam rise can help you rise in your own journey today. Are you ready to see how a story can turn your doubt into energy, your fear into action, and your ordinary world into something extraordinary? If yes, then keep watching, we are only at the beginning. Centuries ago, Vietnam was not a united, powerful country. It was a land of small villages surrounded by much stronger kingdoms. Larger nations wanted its fertile fields, its rich rivers, and its hard-working people to serve them. Imagine waking up in one of those villages. The air is warm and heavy, the sound of birds mixes with the rustle of bamboo, and far away you hear news: foreign armies are coming. You have no big walls, no iron weapons, no trained soldiers. All you have is your family, your neighbors, and the land you love. You look at your children and wonder, how do we protect them? How do we survive when the world around us is bigger, richer, and more powerful than we are? This was Vietnam's first great challenge: surrender or fight. Many people thought resistance was foolish. "We are too small," they said. "We can't win." But deep inside, some believed that cleverness could be stronger than size. They didn't fight like their enemies expected. They didn't form huge armies. They learned the land better than anyone. They used rivers to slow invaders, forests to hide, and mountains to trap enemies who underestimated them. Their secret weapon wasn't strength, it was strategy. They turned every disadvantage into an advantage. And that is the first lesson you can use for your English journey right now. When you look at English as one giant battle, thousands of words, confusing grammar, endless rules, you might feel small, just like those villages. You might even say, "It's too much. I'll never do it." But what if you stop trying to fight the big enemy, all at once? What if you do what Vietnam did: start small, stay smart, and use your environment to help you? That's how you win. Here are 3 real, practical strategies you can use starting today. Learn just 5 new words daily, but choose words that matter to you personally. Link each word to a mental picture or emotion. This makes memory stick naturally. Speak those words out loud, even if nobody listens. Use your voice, it trains confidence. Vietnam's resistance started with small victories. One hidden trap could stop an entire group of invaders. One clever move could protect a whole village. Each one built courage to try again tomorrow. And the same will happen for you. If you master 5 words today, you'll feel stronger. If you practice one short sentence, you'll hear yourself improving. These tiny wins are not small, they're your foundation. Think about planting rice. One seed looks meaningless. But day after day, with water and care, those seeds grow into a field that can feed a family for a year. Your words are seeds. Keep planting. Vietnam didn't win freedom in one battle. It took time, patience, and mistakes. But every step made them stronger. Every step made their enemy underestimate them until the small became powerful. Ask yourself right now, will you wait until you feel ready? Or will you start small today, like Vietnam did? Will you choose fear, or will you choose action, even if it's tiny? Vietnam's fight for survival was never a straight line of victories. They won small battles, but powerful invaders kept coming back, stronger, faster, and more determined. Imagine how exhausting it must have felt. You protect your village once, only to hear rumors that a much larger army is already marching toward you. You have little food left, your people are tired, and fear begins to whisper. Maybe we can't do this forever. This is the moment in every hero's journey called the crisis, the point when doubt is stronger than hope. Even the bravest fighters questioned themselves. Some villages surrendered. Others ran and hid in deep forests. Have you ever felt this way while learning English? You started strong, learned a few words, maybe watched videos or practiced speaking. But then you forgot half of what you learned. You got busy or someone told you. Your accent is bad. Suddenly, motivation disappears. You look at your books or your phone, and instead of excitement you feel heavy. You ask yourself, is this even worth it? Maybe I'm just not good at languages. This emotional wall is normal. Vietnam hit it many times. At one point, entire regions were taken over by foreign forces. Families lost their land. Leaders were captured. Everything they had fought for seemed to crumble. But here is the truth, every big victory in life comes after a moment that feels hopeless. It is the test that separates those who quit from those who rise. Vietnam learned to see crisis not as the end, but as a teacher. What can you do when you feel stuck in your English journey? Here are strategies inspired by Vietnam's survival tactics. Retreat to recover, not to quit. Take a short break, but set a time to return. Just like armies hid in forests to regain strength, give yourself space to recharge. Simplify your goal. Instead of thinking, I need to speak fluently, focus on something smaller. Today I'll master 5 phrases. Change your battlefield. If textbooks bore you, switch to stories, songs, or videos. Vietnam shifted their fighting ground constantly. They chose places where they were stronger. In Vietnam's darkest times, they didn't waste energy thinking about the entire war. They focused on the next step, one safe hiding place, one meal, one strategy. That's how they kept moving when everything felt impossible. Learning English is not about being perfect today, it's about not giving up when progress feels invisible. Every small action during your low point matters more than actions you take when life feels easy. Ask yourself, when you face your crisis, will you let fear decide? Or will you choose even one small action, a 5-minute review, a single sentence spoken aloud, that proves you haven't stopped? Vietnam's story tells us this: the hardest moment is not the end. It is the turning point. And if you keep going just a little longer, the path you thought was blocked can suddenly open. When Vietnam reached its lowest point, something remarkable happened. They realized they couldn't keep fighting the same way and expect different results. They needed to change, to adapt, to use their greatest strength, creativity. Instead of waiting for huge battles they couldn't win, they began to fight in smaller, smarter ways. They set traps in the jungles, used rivers to divide enemy forces, and attacked only when they had the advantage. It wasn't easy, but it worked. This shift turned fear into action. Villagers who once felt powerless now felt useful. Even a farmer with no weapon could dig a hidden pit or spread messages to warn others. Everyone had a role, and every small action mattered. Your English journey works the same way. If your old methods feel heavy, memorizing long lists, forcing grammar rules, maybe it's time to fight smarter, not harder. What if you made learning lighter and more strategic? Here's how to do it. Turn stories into your classroom. Reading about Vietnam's history while learning English lets you practice and stay interested at the same time. Use emotional memory. You'll remember words better when they are connected to powerful images, like rivers, battles, and courage, not random flashcards. Practice speaking while imagining scenes. Picture yourself as a villager or leader. Act out the story in English. It's fun, and it builds fluency naturally. Think of Vietnam's turning point as proof: you don't need to be stronger, you need to be smarter. And smarter means finding methods that feel alive, not methods that drain your energy. Ask yourself, are you trying to win English in one big fight? Are you making it harder than it needs to be? Could you break it into small missions instead, missions that feel exciting instead of overwhelming? For example, instead of sitting down to study for an hour, do this. Watch a short video in English about Vietnam's culture or history. Write down just 3 new words. Use them in one simple sentence you say out loud. That's it. Small mission completed. Like Vietnam, you don't need to fight everywhere, you just need to win today's ground. The moment Vietnam stopped copying their enemy's style and trusted their own methods, they began to change history. The impossible started to look possible. You can feel that too. When you find a learning style that actually excites you, English stops feeling like a war. It becomes a game, a story, even an adventure you want to continue every day. Remember, change is the key to progress. If what you've tried before left you tired or bored, don't quit, just try a new way. That's how small nations win wars, and how ordinary people master extraordinary skills. Vietnam's change in strategy brought them their first real successes. They stopped losing everything and began winning small battles. But one victory didn't mean the war was over, it meant the journey had just entered a new stage. Imagine this, a hidden ambush worked. The invaders retreated, leaving behind weapons and supplies. Villagers celebrated, but they knew another army would come. The question wasn't, can we win once? It was, can we keep winning? This is where persistence mattered more than strength. Vietnam didn't suddenly become the most powerful nation. They stayed small, but they learned to be consistent. Every day, they prepared traps, trained secretly, and shared information. And that's exactly how English learning works. You might have your first small success, you understand a short video, you hold a simple conversation, but then what? Will you keep going, or will you stop and lose that progress? Here's a simple truth, small wins only turn into big changes when you repeat them. Just like a single seed doesn't make a field, one study session won't give you fluency. You need to plant every day, even when it feels boring. Vietnamese villagers didn't wake up excited every morning. Some days they were tired, afraid, or even angry. But they kept showing up because they knew the cost of stopping, losing their land, their freedom, and their future. What's the cost of you stopping your English journey? Think about it. Maybe it's losing opportunities for a better job, missing chances to travel, or feeling left out in conversations you wish you could join. When you feel unmotivated, remind yourself why you started. Vietnam didn't fight just for today, they fought for their children, for the next generation, for a future they couldn't see yet but deeply believed in. Here are 3 practical persistence hacks you can use right now. Set a non-negotiable minimum. Even on busy days, do 5 minutes of English. That's your trap in the jungle. It may look small, but it changes the battle. Track small wins visually. Make a chart or list where you mark each day you practice. Seeing progress builds momentum. Reward yourself. Vietnam celebrated even tiny victories with songs and gatherings. You can reward yourself with a break, a favorite snack, or a short movie after studying. Persistence isn't about working harder than everyone else, it's about refusing to stop when things feel slow. Remember, Vietnam didn't win by being the biggest army. They won because they never stopped moving forward. Ask yourself, will you let boredom or doubt steal your future? Or will you decide that even on your worst days, you can do something small that keeps your dream alive? The villages of Vietnam answered that question with action, not words. They kept going until small wins turned into freedom. You can do the same with your English. Vietnam's persistence eventually began to change the balance of power. At first, their small victories felt almost invisible, but over time, those victories added up. The invaders started to fear the land itself, every river, every jungle path. Think about what that means. At one time, these same armies walked confidently, sure of their superiority. Now they moved carefully, uncertain, because they knew that every shadow could hide a trap, every village could be a source of resistance. This didn't happen overnight. It was the result of hundreds of small actions, repeated again and again. That's exactly how progress feels in your English journey. At first, your effort looks small. Then suddenly, people start to notice. One day, a phrase you learned weeks ago comes out naturally. You understand a movie scene without subtitles. A stranger asks you something in English, and you answer without freezing. It feels like magic, but it's not magic. It's persistence turning into strength. Vietnam's breakthrough came from 3 things that also apply to language learning. Consistency, they never stopped preparing, even when tired. Adaptation, they changed strategies when something didn't work. Belief, they trusted that small actions mattered, even when results weren't immediate. When you apply the same 3 elements to English, your progress speeds up faster than you expect. Imagine what could happen if you stopped measuring success by perfect fluency and started measuring by, did I grow today? Here's a quick action plan you can try. Morning, listen to a 2-minute story about Vietnam in English. Write down just 3 words that feel new or important. Afternoon, use those words in your thoughts or speech. Today is peaceful like a village, the river is quiet. Evening, review them by speaking aloud before bed. That's it. No heavy textbooks. No endless lists. Just small steps that, if repeated, create something huge. That's how Vietnam, a small nation, became strong enough to face giants. Your breakthrough will feel the same. One day, you'll realize that the thing that once scared you, speaking English, now feels easier. You'll look back and see that every single small effort brought you here. Ask yourself, what if you are closer to your breakthrough than you think? What if all you need is a little more consistency to cross that invisible line where learning stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like natural growth? Vietnam never knew which battle would be the one to change everything. But they kept fighting as if the next one could be it. That mindset is powerful. It can turn slow progress into unstoppable progress. After years of struggle, Vietnam's small victories began to change more than the battlefield. They changed the people themselves. Fear didn't disappear completely, but confidence started to grow stronger than fear. Imagine a farmer who once hid when soldiers came. Now that same farmer quietly sets traps at night, teaches younger villagers how to move silently through the forest, and even carries messages between hidden camps. Confidence is not something you are born with, it's something you build by taking action, even when you feel afraid. Vietnam didn't wait to feel ready. They acted first, and confidence came later. The same rule applies to learning English. Many people think, I'll practice speaking when I feel confident. But it doesn't work that way. You only feel confident after you practice, not before. Vietnamese villagers didn't suddenly wake up brave. They became brave by doing small, scary things every day. You will become confident in English by speaking, even if you make mistakes, even if your voice shakes at first. Here are 3 strategies to build real confidence. Start speaking in private. Talk to yourself in English while cooking, walking, or driving. This makes your mouth comfortable forming new sounds. Use safe conversations. Practice simple sentences with a friend or language partner who won't judge you. Celebrate effort, not perfection. Each time you speak, even one sentence, you're already stronger than yesterday. Vietnam's confidence changed their strategies. They stopped only hiding and started planning bigger attacks. Similarly, when your confidence grows, you'll stop just studying English and start using it naturally. Think about this. The same sentence you avoid saying today because you're afraid of mistakes could be the one that unlocks a new friendship, a job opportunity, or even a new life in another country. Confidence doesn't arrive as a gift. It's something you earn by showing up, by taking small risks, and by proving to yourself that you can survive those risks. Vietnam didn't know if they would win. But each successful action made them think, maybe we can. Each time you understand a new word, each time you finish a short conversation, you should think the same. Maybe I can. Ask yourself right now, what is one small English action you can take today, even if you feel nervous? Can you say one sentence out loud? Can you write one comment in English online? Can you listen to a short video and repeat the words? Because every tiny act of courage will make the next one easier. And soon, just like Vietnam, you'll notice that what once felt terrifying now feels like your new normal. Vietnam's growing confidence brought them to another critical realization: they could not win alone. Villages began to connect, share food, exchange information, and plan together. What one group could not do alone, many could achieve together. Picture secret paths through jungles where messengers carried warnings between distant villages. Imagine families hiding strangers from other regions because they were all fighting for the same dream: freedom. This unity changed everything. The people stopped seeing themselves as isolated farmers and started to feel like part of a bigger force. Even the strongest invaders could not fight against an entire nation working as one. Your English journey is no different. Trying to learn alone can be exhausting. You might lose motivation, question yourself, and quit too early. But when you connect with others, progress feels faster, easier, and far less lonely. Think about it. Have you ever tried to study alone for weeks and then suddenly joined a class or online group? You start speaking more. You see others struggling too. You realize mistakes are normal, and you keep going. Here are 3 practical ways to build your language army. Find a practice partner, someone who also wants to improve. You can motivate each other. Join online communities, forums, apps, or social media groups for English learners can give daily support. Learn from people ahead of you. Watching advanced speakers shows you what's possible and inspires you to aim higher. Vietnam's unity didn't just give them strength, it gave them hope. When you see others fighting the same battle, you stop feeling like a failure. You understand that struggle is part of the journey, not a sign to quit. Also, helping others can actually make you stronger. Villages that shared food or tools were better prepared themselves. Teaching someone a word you just learned helps lock it into your own memory. Ask yourself, are you trying to win this language war completely alone? Who could join your journey today? Maybe a friend, a classmate, or even a stranger online who wants the same goal. Every great victory in history, including Vietnam's, was built on connection, not isolation. You don't need to do everything yourself. You just need to take the first step to reach out. Imagine how much faster your English could grow if you practiced speaking daily with someone instead of waiting for confidence to magically appear. Imagine the difference if you had people cheering for you when you wanted to quit. Vietnam's villages didn't become strong because they were perfect. They became strong because they stood together. And if you do the same, your learning will become not just easier but also far more meaningful. After years of uniting and adapting, Vietnam's forces began to build unstoppable momentum. One small victory led to another, and the invaders started to lose ground, their confidence shaken. Imagine a wave slowly gathering strength on the shore, starting as a small ripple but growing taller and faster, until it becomes a powerful force that nothing can stop. That's what momentum feels like in a long journey. Your English learning journey works the same way. At first, progress feels slow and uncertain. You struggle with new words, grammar, or pronunciation. But if you keep going, something magical happens. Your efforts start to connect and multiply. Every new phrase you learn helps you understand more. Every conversation builds your confidence. Every mistake teaches you what to improve next. These small wins add up, making it harder to stop and easier to continue. Vietnam's momentum came from staying focused on daily actions, training fighters, sharing intelligence, and striking when the time was right. Their strategy wasn't random, it was consistent and intentional. Here are 3 ways to build momentum in your English practice. Set clear, achievable goals, instead of vague ideas like get better. Choose specific targets like learn 10 new words this week, or speak for 5 minutes daily. Create a routine. Consistency turns effort into habit. Find the best time of day to practice and stick to it. Track your progress. Use apps, journals, or calendars to see how far you've come. Seeing progress motivates you to keep moving forward. Think about this. When you first started learning English, speaking even a few sentences was hard. Now maybe you can understand simple stories, follow a conversation, or even write short messages. That's momentum. Momentum also changes your mindset. What once seemed impossible becomes normal. You no longer see English as a mountain to climb but a path you walk every day, step by step. Ask yourself, what small action can you take today that will build your momentum? Will you watch a short video, read a paragraph, or speak with a friend? Remember, momentum starts with a single, consistent step. Vietnam's history teaches us that slow, steady progress can lead to freedom and success. You don't need to rush. You just need to keep moving forward, one step at a time. Vietnam's long struggle wasn't just about battles. It was about keeping hope alive when everything around them seemed dark. Even as victories grew, the path remained full of danger, setbacks, and long waits. Imagine living in a village where each day might bring news of loss or hardship. It's easy to feel tired, discouraged, or to wonder if the effort is worth it. Yet the people kept going because they believed in something bigger than themselves. This belief, the deep motivation to protect their homes, families, and culture, was their true power. It gave them strength to wake up every day and face uncertainty, no matter how many times they felt beaten down. Your English journey is no different. Motivation can flare brightly at first, then fade as progress slows or obstacles appear. The key is not to wait for motivation but to create habits that keep you moving even when motivation wanes. Here are practical strategies to keep your learning fire burning. Connect learning to your personal goals. Why do you want to speak English? For a better job, travel, or to talk with friends? Write it down and remind yourself often. Celebrate small wins. Did you understand a difficult sentence today? Did you speak to someone in English? Reward yourself. Small celebrations keep your brain motivated. Change your routine when bored. Try new methods, watch videos, listen to songs, read stories, or use apps. Variety keeps your brain curious and interested. Vietnam's warriors didn't just fight physically, they fought mentally. They reminded each other of their purpose through songs, stories, and traditions. You can do the same with your English learning. Ask yourself, what stories inspire you? Which heroes in history or life keep you going? How can you make your English journey part of your own story of courage and growth? Also, think about the power of visualization. Picture yourself speaking English confidently, connecting with new friends, or succeeding in your dreams. Feel that future moment as if it's happening now. When motivation feels low, return to that picture. Let it pull you forward. Let it remind you why every small step matters, even when it feels hard or slow. Vietnam's journey was long and full of struggle, but their fire never died. Their story reminds us that persistence fueled by purpose can overcome any challenge. Your story can be the same. You might feel tired or doubtful now, but if you keep your fire alive with purpose and small actions, success will come. Vietnam's story teaches us more than survival. It shows how struggle can transform into joy and freedom. After years of hardship, the people didn't just fight to live, they fought to live fully, with hope, pride, and connection. Imagine a village celebrating after months of quiet. Children laugh as elders tell stories of heroes. The rice fields glow golden in the sunset. People gather not only to rest but to sing, dance, and dream of a future they helped build. This joy didn't come automatically. It was earned through persistence, sacrifice, and shared struggle. But once earned, it changed everything. It made every hardship worthwhile and every effort feel meaningful. In your English journey, you'll reach a moment like this too. At first, learning may feel like a chore or a mountain you can't climb. But as you build skills and confidence, something shifts. Learning becomes enjoyable and freeing. Here's how to move from effort to joy. Celebrate progress, not perfection. English isn't about being flawless. It's about being understood and connecting. Every small success is a reason to smile. Use English to explore what you love. Listen to music, watch movies, or read stories that excite you. When language connects to your passions, learning feels like play. Share your learning journey. Talk with friends, join groups, or even teach someone else. Sharing your progress creates joy and deeper connection. Vietnamese people found joy in their culture, songs, and stories despite hardship. They knew that preserving their language and traditions was a form of freedom itself. You can find the same joy in English by making it part of your life. Ask yourself, what makes learning fun for you? Which activities make you forget time? How can you bring more of those moments into your study routine? Language is a bridge to new people, new ideas, and new experiences. When you use English to connect rather than just to study, you unlock freedom. Freedom to travel, to work, and to express your true self. Think about this. Imagine yourself watching a movie without subtitles, or telling a story in English that makes your friends laugh or cry. That moment is proof you've turned effort into joy. Vietnam's heroes fought not only for survival but for a future filled with hope and connection. Your English journey is the same. The challenges you face are the path to a deeper, richer freedom. Keep that vision close. When learning feels hard, remember that joy is waiting on the other side of persistence. Every small step takes you closer to a new world. Vietnam's history doesn't end with independence or victory. It continues in the culture, the people, and the lessons passed down through generations. Their story is one of lifelong learning, adapting, and growing stronger over time. Think about this. Even after years of fighting, they didn't stop improving. Leaders studied new strategies. Villagers learned to grow better crops. The entire nation kept changing to face new challenges and opportunities. Your English journey is just like that. Learning doesn't stop when you reach a certain level. It's a lifelong process that changes with your needs, goals, and experiences. What you learn today builds the foundation for what you'll master tomorrow. Here's how to keep growing. Stay curious. Always ask questions. When you hear a new word or phrase, explore its meaning, pronunciation, and usage in different contexts. Mix old and new. Review what you've learned regularly but also challenge yourself with new materials, books, podcasts, or conversations. Set new goals. Once you reach a milestone, create new challenges for yourself. For example, start writing short stories, joining public speaking groups, or learning slang and idioms. Vietnam's heroes knew that the fight for freedom was ongoing. They also understood that knowledge was power. Their success wasn't just in battle but in their ability to learn and adapt continuously. Ask yourself, are you ready to become a lifelong learner? How can you make English a part of your daily life, not just a task to complete? How can you stay excited about new challenges? Remember, the journey you started with a few words or sentences can grow into a deep, rich skill that opens doors to new cultures, friendships, and opportunities. The key is to never stop learning. Use these simple habits to keep your skills alive. Spend 10 minutes daily reading or listening to something new. Teach what you learn to someone else. Explaining ideas helps you remember better. Try journaling your thoughts in English. Don't worry about mistakes, just write freely. Vietnam's story is a powerful reminder that growth is never finished. The same courage and persistence you've built so far will help you continue expanding your skills throughout your life. Visualize yourself 5 or 10 years from now, fluent and confident. What doors will open? What dreams will you chase? How will your life be different? Hold on to that vision, it will guide you forward. If you've been learning English for a while, you may have felt stuck at times. This is called a plateau, a period when your progress seems to slow or even stop. Vietnam's long history teaches us how to face these moments without giving up. Imagine a soldier climbing a steep mountain. Halfway up, the path becomes rocky and difficult. You can't see the top. You feel tired and wonder if it's worth continuing. But those who reach the peak don't quit halfway, they find ways to push through. Vietnam faced plateaus many times. After winning battles, there were quiet seasons when nothing seemed to change. Sometimes invaders regrouped and returned stronger. The people learned to prepare for hard times, knowing patience was key. The same is true in language learning. After quick early progress, it's normal to feel slower. You might understand less, forget words, or struggle with speaking. This can feel discouraging, but it's actually a sign that your brain is working hard to build new skills. Here's how to overcome plateaus and keep climbing. Change your approach. If you usually read, try listening or speaking more. If you focus on grammar, switch to watching movies or chatting with friends. New activities refresh your brain. Set micro goals, break down big goals into tiny, manageable tasks. Instead of be fluent, focus on learn 5 new phrases today. Or use 3 new words in conversation. Celebrate small wins, every step counts. Maybe you understood a joke in English or wrote a simple email. These moments show you're moving forward, even if slowly. Vietnamese warriors never gave up during quiet or hard times. They used those moments to train, plan, and prepare for future victories. Your quiet plateaus are your training ground. Use them well. Ask yourself, are you willing to be patient with yourself? Can you change tactics when something isn't working? Will you remind yourself that slow progress is still progress? Also, remember, plateaus often come before breakthroughs. When you feel stuck, that means your brain is adjusting and growing stronger. Keep going, and soon you'll see results that surprise you. Try this simple habit to push through plateaus. Record yourself speaking once a week. Listen back to notice improvements, however small. Join a conversation group or find a language buddy for regular practice. Reward yourself when you hit mini goals, no matter how small. Vietnam's story reminds us that success is never a straight line. It's full of ups and downs, stops and starts. But those who keep climbing reach heights others only dream of. Visualize yourself at the peak, looking back on all the hard climbs. Feel the pride and strength you've built. That's your future, waiting beyond the plateau. Vietnam's story is not just about fighting and surviving, it's about building a future. After decades of struggle, the country finally gained freedom and started creating opportunities for its people. Their journey didn't end with victory. It began a new chapter filled with hope and growth. Imagine stepping into a world where you can make your own choices, where you can travel, work, and connect with people beyond your village. For Vietnam, this was a dream that once felt impossible, but they fought to make it real. Your English learning journey works the same way. As your skills grow, new doors open. Jobs that require English become reachable. You can travel more easily. You can meet new friends, enjoy movies, music, and books in English, and understand the world in new ways. But opportunities don't always come knocking on their own. You need to create them. You need to take action and use your skills actively. Vietnam's people rebuilt schools, cities, and industries after the war. They didn't wait for success to come to them. Here's how you can start creating opportunities with English today. Apply your skills, write emails, join online forums, or participate in discussions. Use English as a tool, not just a subject to study. Volunteer or intern. Look for opportunities where English skills can help you gain experience and build your network. Keep learning cultural context. Understanding cultural references, idioms, and slang makes your communication more natural and opens more doors. Vietnamese people didn't just survive, they transformed their country into a place full of life and possibility. You can do the same by transforming your English skills into real actions that change your future. Ask yourself, what's one opportunity you want to create? Can you apply your English skills in your daily life starting now? How can you step out of your comfort zone to make your dream happen? Remember, every small conversation, every email written, every new word used is a brick in the foundation of your new life. Vietnam's story reminds us that change starts with action, no matter how small. Visualize yourself in a future where your English skills let you travel freely, communicate confidently, or land your dream job. Feel the pride, excitement, and freedom. That future is waiting for you. Vietnam's heroes didn't just fight for freedom, they returned to their villages as legends. Their victory was not just a moment in history but a new beginning. Their story inspired generations, showing that courage, patience, and persistence lead to greatness. Imagine the joy of seeing your homeland peaceful and thriving after years of struggle. Imagine sharing stories of bravery with your children and knowing you helped create a better future for them. That is the true reward. Your English journey is your own epic tale. Every step you took, every word learned, every sentence spoken, has brought you closer to your goals. You are the hero of your story, returning stronger, wiser, and ready to face new challenges. Celebrate your progress. Look back at where you started, perhaps feeling overwhelmed by English, and see how far you've come. That growth is proof of your strength and determination. Here are ways to honor your journey and keep moving forward. Reflect on your story. Write or talk about your learning experience. What were your biggest challenges? Your proudest moments? Set new horizons. Learning never ends. Find new goals to keep your skills sharp and your mind curious. Give back. Help others on their journey. Teach a friend, join a community, or share your story to inspire others. Vietnam's freedom was a collective victory. Your success is too. Sharing what you've learned strengthens your skills and creates a ripple effect that helps others grow. Ask yourself, how will you use your English skills now? What new dreams will you chase? How will your journey inspire those who follow? Visualize standing tall, speaking confidently, and knowing your hard work has opened doors for yourself and those around you. Feel the pride and excitement of new beginnings. Remember, every great story has challenges and triumphs. Your journey with English is no different. You are not just learning a language, you are transforming your life. Thank you for trusting me to guide you through this story. Keep going. Your future is bright, and your possibilities are endless. If you found this journey inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories that empower and educate. Keep learning, keep growing,